Can I start, Steve, with the business away from the immediate job at Kilmarnock? I want to talk about the Scotland vacancy now and Clarke should be moved on. Do you have desires at any stage to manage the national team?
Yeah, at some stage. Yeah, whether it's now or not is a matter for you guys to talk about and speculate. I'm fully focused on finishing the season well here at Kilmarnock.
The Scottish FA wanted to speak to you. What would your view be?
I don't speculate. There's no point in doing that. I know how football works. I'm fully focused on this job here. We've got a massive game tomorrow, and I know you jumped ahead and went straight to the national team job. First of all, I have to say I'm sad for Alex. I think he's a good man, very enthusiastic about the job. He was down here 4 weeks ago, I think, and I had a good chat with him, and he had big hopes for the future, and it just shows you how short-term football can be sometimes. So it's better for me just to concentrate on my job here and trying to finish the season very well.
Steve, I take it the SFA hadn't been in touch yet?
Nobody's been in touch with me since January. From anybody.
Where they could get in touch, would you be open to a conversation?
Yeah, but that's all just speculation, so I've got nothing to say whether they get in touch or whether they don't get in touch. Will be down to them. They'll do their due diligence. They'll get together a list of candidates, and then they have to decide what to do. It's not that long ago since the Scotland job was available. They didn't speak to me then, so I've got no reason to think they'll speak now.
You've got a job to do now, you say, Steve, but if it was possible, could you not combine both jobs?
No, not possible.
The Scotland job has to be a job on its own?
Absolutely. Why would you devalue the job of the national team? It's a full-time job. It needs a full-time person fully committed to it.
In terms of what Alex Clarke spoke to you about regarding the job, how do you view the job? Whoever takes it on, is it as? I haven't
thought about the job. My job's here at Kilmarnock. Billy told you I'm happy here. Did you not read that in the paper today? Very happy.
You have a decision to make at the end of the season. You're on record as saying that, Steve, in terms of.
Yeah, but that's my decision.
Of course.
That's my decision. Irrespective of job offers from other clubs, it's my decision whether I stay here.
In an ideal world, would you prefer the day-to-day of club football to international management?
At this moment in time, probably.
What will you weigh up at the end of the season, Steve? And what will you be weighing up at the end of the season?
Probably personal life against professional life. That's the biggest decision I have to make. But very happy here at Kilmarnock. Working for a great chairman, good board of directors, working with fantastic staff, and I've got to say my players have been pretty good as well, so it's been a good season for us up till now, but 5 massive games coming up, and we want to do as well as we can in those games. So with all due respect to the Scottish national team, the SFA, I don't really want to talk about them again, because I want to concentrate and finish this job well this season.
One final question on management before I let you talk about Kilmarnock and this weekend. Generally speaking, is there any part of you that still has ambitions to manage again down in England? You mentioned personally you might look to. Yeah,
I did a newspaper article a couple of weeks ago, and I said that I feel as though I've got unfinished business in English football, so I'd love another crack at it. Whether it's this season, next season, or the season after, I don't know. But I would like to have another stab at English football, yeah.
You were linked with Fulham in the last couple of days. No contact from them. Right?
No, nothing from Fulham. I think it's a little bit, with all due respect to you guys, lazy journalism, where I was linked with the Fulham job before and I've been thrown back into the mix. I haven't heard anything from London. We'd draw the line under those then. Now let's talk about the real business, eh?
In terms of the football coming up, you'd said that you didn't really understand the scheduling, the way the fixtures are working. Are you quite happy now that you've had that break and you're straight back into the football?
No, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. It seems strange. I've picked up a couple of injuries in training this week, and it's because you don't have the rhythm at this time of the season. So we play Rangers away at Ibrox, and then we have the 2 week for the international break, and then we pack 3 games into a week, and then we've got another 2 week break before we play again. And at this stage of the season, really, your squad should just be ticking over and playing game after game after game, getting towards the end of the season. So I don't know the solution, I don't know the answer, but for us as a club and as a squad of players, it's not been ideal.
Does it potentially come damaging for teams going into the split that don't have that semi-final, that have the 2-week break going into the split?
On the back of an international break, yeah. I don't know why they can't move the semi-finals a little bit further or play a midweek league game before it or a midweek league game after it. You certainly don't have to wait 2 weeks before you play, so miss 2 weeks for an international break, miss 2 weeks because it's a FA or Scottish Cup semi-final week. It just seems a little bit strange, and obviously packing 3 games into a week. There must be a better way of doing it.
On another issue, Steve, Kilmarnock have cut Rangers' allocation for the game here, and Rangers have said they'll consider future allocations. What's your thoughts on that?
It's not about Rangers, it's about Kilmarnock. It's a decision for our football club and our fans, and that's the most important thing. It's got nothing to do with Rangers.
Are you surprised by their response? And it's kind of threat, isn't it, for next season and going forward?
I'm not surprised, but like I said before, it was a decision for Kilmarnock and their fans, and the nonsense that's followed it is typical Scotland, I suppose. Typical.
What do you make of the challenge that Aberdeen pose you tomorrow?
I'm jumping around here, aren't we? You're doing a great job talking about Aberdeen. I think it'll be a tough game because obviously they'll be hurting badly from last week. They lost the game in a bad way last week, so they'll be hurting. They'll be looking at the last 5 games as 5 cup finals to try and get into Europe. So we expect a tough challenge, but we'll be ready for it.
In terms of the injury situation, Steve, what's it looking like?
Well, Scott Boyd out, Jordan Jones is out with a shoulder injury, and I've got big doubts on Malumbu and Tishpola.
What would it mean to you? Obviously, massive match against Aberdeen tomorrow in terms of the race figure to get this football club into European competition.
I think my first target, I've said, I always go from target to target or step to step. Next step is to beat the points total we got last year. So we're 1 point behind that, so a nice win at the weekend would get us past that stage, and then we'll look at the next challenge after that.
That's the best way to approach it. You have to be measured. You can't look beyond that at the moment. You can't think of Europe yet because
it's very difficult for us to think of Europe because it was never a pre-season objective. The pre-season objective was to try and build on what we did last season. I think we've managed to do that. So we reached the post-split fixtures in good health, having achieved what we wanted to achieve from the season. So we've got 5 great matches to look forward to. Last year in the post-split fixtures, I think we managed to pick up 4 points. And if we could beat that this year, then that would be great because it would take us past the points total from last year, which I think would set a new Kilmarnock record. Is that right? So we've got a lot to play for and not really a lot of pressure on us. Whereas I think maybe clubs like Aberdeen, maybe Hibs, who were in Europe last year, have got that pressure of trying to get back into Europe because that's, when Aberdeen certainly are a club that you would always associate with qualifying for Europe, so they have that extra pressure that we don't have.
You mentioned earlier this week picked up a few notes in training because of the breaking game. Did anything of note that would have an impact this weekend, or is it just smaller stuff?
No, I've just you must have been thinking of your question when I answered it. So Jordan Jones out with a shoulder injury, Scott Boyd's out with a long-term knee injury, and Aaron Tishpola and Yusuf Malumbu have both picked up knocks in training, so maybe a little bit light in midfield, but I'm sure we'll cope.
And zoned out, I'm trying to think of other ways to ask some questions.
I'm sure you will.
Just finally, Steve, in the land of hypotheticals, if the SFA did come to you about an interim job for the internationals at the end of the season, what would your thoughts be?
At the end of the season, I'm going on holiday.
Unavailable?
Holiday time. It's been a long season. Still got 4 weeks to go, or just over 4 weeks to go, and I'm not sure my wife would be too happy if I said, "Listen, darling, we're not going anywhere in the summer."